Hi, this is Aemetis with the US Chartbreakers here at Zac's Traders Cafe for Friday the 22nd of March. Starting off with the S&P, and here we just hit the top of that narrow channel that we got there, the red channel there from the beginning of October, 52.60. Floor of the channel currently around 51.60, and obviously we're hoping for an end of day close through 52.60 to give us a best case scenario target as high as 54.60, and that September resistance line projection perhaps by the end of next month or just after that. On the downside, hopefully limited towards the 5100 to 5120 area, just recent support for this market. Moving along to the Nasdaq, and Nasdaq 100 gapping up yesterday, gapping up towards that resistance line target there at 18,800. Above that, looking for a move to the top of that rising trend channel from back in October, currently pointing as high as 19,500, perhaps a target for the end of next month. Recent support around 18,000, and we're hoping that that will remain in place. I suppose the worst case at this point is that we have to test the 50-day line at 17,700, but you can see that we haven't actually been below the 50-day moving average since the beginning of November, which is unbelievable, really, unbelievably bullish, that is. Moving on to the stocks, and quite a few repeats here, which is normally good news. It means that the charting is working. Here we've got Aemetis, and here the shares managed to make good on their end-of-day close above the 50-day line there earlier in the week, $3.55, and we were looking for up to $6.70 by the end of next month. The way things are going, it could even be by the end of this month. I'd like to see the shares remain on the right side of $4 in the meantime. New name coming up now, which sounds very 21st century, and it is Arbe Robotics. Here we've got a broadening triangle base in place since September. Top of the triangle there at $3.10, and we're looking for that, especially while we're above the recent resistance area around the $2.20 marks, above 220, looking for up to 310 on Arbe Robotics. A couple of repeats in a row now. First one is Cazoo, and here you can see that after the trials and tribulations the shares have been through, we've got a broadening triangle base. We managed to have an end-of-day close above the 50-day moving average. That's currently around the $4, so call it the $4.10 area, and looking for this to go up towards $8.70 by the end of next month. Ideally, we stay on the right side of $4 in the meantime. Interesting situation coming up for Canoo, and here gapping through or gapping above the 50-day line. We were looking for $6.30, ideally by the end of next month, while we remain above the 50-day moving average around $3.20. So hopefully enough time there to get back and retest basically what was the initial 2024 resistance for the shares. We haven't looked at the next stock for quite a while, maybe since the summer, Duos, and here you can see that there was a trend line break there from a summer resistance line from basically back in August. That was also breaking the 50-day line there around the $3.10 area, and we managed to stay above the 50-day line ever since, finding support at it. Top of the channel there up to $5.66, and we're hoping for that sometime during the remaining days of March. Best case is that we stay on the right side of $4.50. On to a new name, and it is Laser Photonics. Here we've got a rising trend channel, and top of the channel heading for $3.50. We're looking for that by the end of next month. While we remain above recent support around $1.50, it would be nice if we could stay above $1.70, the lower body of that candle. Moving on to the next situation, rather famous company, it's Micron, and here the shares managing to deliver a massive gap to the upside. The overall pattern here of a rising trend channel, which has been in place since back in October, like many stocks, that's heading for $125. And we're looking for that by the end of next month, while we remain above recent resistance around $102. The next situation is also on the front foot, and it comes in the form of Mongram. The situation is that we've got a broadening triangle base there from September, top of the triangle there up to $4.65, and initial target here hopefully up to $3 or so, $2.94, the 50-day line over the next week or two. The other point to note is that yesterday's price action was a gap closed buy signal, so that adds extra momentum to the course. We looked at the NextNav quite recently, and here you can see why it bounced off the 50-day line, $1.80. Above that, we're looking for $4 as soon as the end of next month within that broadening trend channel, which has been in place since the beginning of October. So hopefully decent risk reward there on that one. Another firm favorite in the recent past has been NextNav, and here gapping up through that broken resistance line. Obviously there's a bit of jiggery pokery towards $5.50, a sort of bull trap, but we've come back to that broken resistance line around $4.70, and hopefully we'll head up to the top of the channel there at $7 by the end of this month, backed by the rising 50-day line and the latest unfilled gap to the upside. An interesting pattern emerging here at Nortech, and here you can see that after gapping down, we've then gapped up twice. A rising trend channel there from back in July, top of the channel, heading for $15. We're looking for that in the last few days of March, and don't want to see any end of day close back below the $12.80 mark, basically the just below yesterday's trading range. Moving on to another winner, and here will hopefully continue to be a winner, Sonova. Here we've got a situation where the shares have managed to rebound off the floor of that falling trend channel from November. The old support for the shares at the end of last month around $6.60, so that's our initial target there. We're not far off it in pre-market, and looking for it up to $10 by the end of next month at the top of that channel there, while we stay on the right side of yesterday's support, which was around the $5 mark. On to the last three. First one, quite a familiar face, and a very strong situation as well. We've got SWVL coming up, and here you'll be able to see that we've hit several of our previous targets, quite a sort of frenzy of targets there. Initially $6 and $8, and then we were looking for up to $15, $15.20 by the end of next month. It looks like it'll be by the end of this month. That leaves us looking for a final target, presumably up to $20 by the end of next month, while we remain above the $12 zone, $12.70 zone, which is basically the resistance on the way down. Moving on to a new name, and that is Torrid Holdings, which at the moment is not living up to its name in terms of the charting. We bounced off the floor of the rising trend channel there from back in April last year. Initial target here, the 50-day line, $4.83, and looking for the top of the channel there as high as $7.60 by the end of next month. Finishing off with Vroom, and here you'll see that we've got a nice turnaround here with the shares breaking a resistance line there, and hopefully heading towards the 50-day moving average. That's currently running at $7.80, and $17.80 rather. We're looking at that by the end of next month, while we remain above yesterday's support zone around $11.20. That's it for me today. More updates over the weekend.